Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Art Weekly. We're enjoying, well, as you can tell, amazing warm weather. I've got some notes here because I just thought I'd give you a background on how the week started for me. I follow on Jackson's on YouTube Artist Insights, and Chris, an artist, he calls himself a sketcher and a painter. Mainly it was talking about being out and about and painting with watercolour. He's obviously a master in his field, and it really inspired me enormously. But from time to time I have a yen for watercolour, and so inspired by him, I ordered from Jackson's a new pan. The last pan of watercolours, aside from the ones that I took apart, Lauren bought me a very sweet little travel set that got used, and so I thought for the next trip it would be nice to have, rather than liquid, I'll go with a pan of schminker watercolours. So they have arrived and they're very lovely. They're very pigmented, and I've been having a dabble. I know the dandelion is considered a weed, but from a child I've always had a fascination with that yellow flower, followed by that amazing pom-pom head. And I was trying to catch that stage. I like that stage also, in between the flower and before the pom-pom. They're obviously all around us because they're just floating in the air everywhere. So that was the aim, and it started well and then went slowly downhill. A fresh sheet, and I think this is my last attempt. So beginning with a little bit, just pencil, a soft pencil here. My temptation to try and work the watercolour in an acrylic way is the problem. And I need to respect the fact that the watercolour is very different, and I need a different approach. So this has been not a waste of time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, but going forward, you've got to be a lot more patient, I think, with the watercolour, to let the layers in between dry and not to be heavy-handed. In frustration now, I start with the scissors, seeing if I can save something. And if nothing else, it's given me ideas for a colour palette and a chance to think about what worked, think about what didn't work, and just take that forward, not to give up. I've printed out a few more images of the cottage, the old cottage and stables. For the watercolour and being out and about in the sketchbook, I'd really like to try and get in the groove of that. I want to practice. The only way with anything is to keep practicing. So I haven't got anything extra in my concertina from when I went before, last week or the week before. So it might be interesting to see what happens, what comes when I work in the watercolours. I came in this morning, I thought the camera was on, and it wasn't, so I've been gaily talking to myself and to you whilst messing with the watercolours. On watercolour paper is much nicer than the 300 thick cartridge paper that is my concertina at the moment, so much happier on, as it would be, on watercolour paper. And I'm just trying. Right, so if we were in acrylic, we could just wipe that out, couldn't we? We could block that off. But I thought I'd show you what I'm doing in the house. Well, what I'm finishing up in the house. This frame came with a mount and the Perspex front I damaged. So I decided, rather than waste the frame, I put the paperwork on a board, on a 6mm board, as I've talked about and shown you. And then that went into under the press. When that's all dry, that then had a top coat. You can matte medium, gloss medium, so gloss medium. And quite often for me, it's not until I see something in the frame that I can identify what is missing, what I think is needed. The same thing happened with tulips. After a couple of days of that being in the frame, I started to understand that to balance things somehow for my eye, I needed to make a couple of adjustments. And I've got this feeling here that I need, this needs to come here. So I'll very, very carefully, I'll just mask very carefully that edge. The beauty of the top coat is that if I don't like it or I go wrong, I can take it away quite quickly and I won't disrupt anything underneath. I'm obviously having a thing on black at the moment. It's strange, isn't it? I don't really know why, but it's quite dramatic and I quite like it. The watercolours, I've been taking them up to bed and just trying to remind myself of different techniques, and actually they're not thinking about what I've been taught years and years and years ago, but just rediscovering things for myself. So I'm having a nice time, and I think that way off the goal might be, I think, to produce a few small watercolours, definitely, as opposed to trying to work big. So I'll keep practicing watercolour practice. I think I'll go in with the white first. Magnolia is almost done, but boy, we are over the moon with the wisteria. I think this is the best it's looked. Oh, it's just lovely. And the smell, wow, is glorious. Okay, I've made a little bit of progress on here, and I have to say I quite like combining the watercolour with the acrylic. So more to go, but good fun nonetheless. I've also been tentatively adding in to the buildings a little bit more colour, and I'm absolutely loving them. I've been wasting time this morning. The printer drives me nuts. Sometimes it drives me bonkers because it just gobbles up time. So I'm slow to start, and now I'm feeling where to start. I had this great idea, I thought was a good idea, to put some printing ink down for a monoprint. Anyway, I had a bit of a disaster with the printing ink. I wanted to make a monoprint, it all went wrong. That was what I was attempting to draw, to pick up the ink, and it didn't work because I was too hasty and I put too much paint down. But I'm going to push this further with a bit of acrylic. I've got some printing ink here. I've attempted this, as I've said. I'm going to see if I just make a mark. Yes. So just thinking about having another go at the monoprint. I'm going to rock it. It's really cold again now. We had those few gorgeous days. Rocket cried to come in and now he's crying to go back out. Just because I've... You're going to have to wait while I get this down. Right, I'm trying to remember where I've put the ink. So this is really good fun. Rock. I've been reading my Shirley Trevena, Taking Risks with Watercolours, and I'm thinking, do a bit of monoprint, do a bit of watercolour. See what might come. I think it needs to just be very so I've got that, and now I'm going to let that dry and then build on that with watercolours. Better on glass, the printing ink, than on Perspex, personally. Yeah, I really am going between floral and building at the moment, but it's nice. I'm really excited to get the watercolours on the monoprint. There's still a little bit. That needs, the printing ink does actually need quite a while to dry. I like having the colours left in the pan. You can mix on those, it's not wasteful in any way. And then also you can just take a wipe, a wet wipe, to give yourself a clean area. Let's mix a green. I know that someone will say use a smaller brush, but it's in my hand now and it will have to do. I think that'll do as a green. So I'm going to blot that down. Just see. There's a tiny bit of movement on that printing ink. What I think I'd like to do is make it even more of a wash. That is what I really love about watercolour. I do like the essence of it. So that will be enough for me in a smaller format in the sketchbook. I think what I'll do for the next trip is attempt to make myself a watercolour octopus concertina sketchbook. That might be a really nice idea. So I'm going to work on that and keep playing about, finding my own technique, developing my own method with the watercolours. And I absolutely love it with the pencils, with the chubbies, and I don't mind mixing some acrylic as well. And it feels like a whole new beginning. So that's very exciting. I don't know if did I show you? I don't know if there's no paint coming off. That is my latest chunky black frame floral. That's acrylic on canvas, and I added a few highlights in, and I think I'm quite pleased with it now. So I might just live with it for a couple more days. But again, I didn't see the adjustments needed until it went in the frame. So even if you've got an old frame hanging around that you can use, it does make a difference when you see something with the frame around it. Well, it's raining outside. We've just got back from a dog walk, and I think that's it with the lovely weather for a little while. But the garden will be delighted with some rain. Okay, so I'll leave it here this week. Thank you as always for watching, for liking and commenting. I'm catching up. I'm still a bit behind on those emails, but I am catching up. So have a wonderful week. Experiment with your watercolours. Why watercolour? Why not? It's all these art materials are just a joy. And it doesn't have to be, they don't have to be the most expensive fancy pants watercolours. I've mixed in with the schminker, I've mixed in some of my old found squares. So yeah, you can mix it up. But I'm thrilled to bits that I've got that little pan and got out some old brushes, old new brushes, and the water brushes will be good, your pens, pencils, etc. I'm waffling. Goodbye. Have a lovely week, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.